call our meeting to order today. And you're probably seeing the notice on your screen about us live streaming and taping. I will share my screen, hopefully. All right, and does everyone see a nice big Great River Road logo? Okay, wonderful. And I'm just going to make sure my slides are advancing and it's cooperating today, so that makes me very happy. Again, I'm Chris. I will be helping you with the meeting today, facilitating us through the agenda. We'll start by reviewing the agenda, and I thank you for being here today. We'll do some introductions in a minute, but this is what we'll be talking about today. The welcome and introductions that we're doing right now. We'll go over some 10 state Great River Road information just as background for everyone. Also Minnesota Great River Road information. One of the main reasons that we're together today is to do an election for our regional commissioner to represent the Lake Itasca to Grand Rapids area. So we will be talking about that coming up as well. And we do want to leave quite a bit of time if we can for discussion and regional updates on things happening in your area. So that will be an important part of our agenda as well. We will start with some introductions as we look at our Minnesota Great River Road map in our various regions. We are today talking about two of the color-coded regions that you see in green, starting at Itasca State Park, the headwaters, and the North Woods, kind of in the burgundy color as I see it from Bemidji to Grand Rapids. So we have one commissioner that represents those two regions, and we will talk about that more a little bit later. As I said, I'm Chris. I work for the Minnesota-Mississippi River Parkway Commission as its director and kind of help facilitate the business of the commission. I'm very honored and pleased to work with all of the commission members. They do a wonderful job. I also today bring you greetings from Nancy Salmonen, who was the previous regional commissioner for this area. She did reach out and send her good wishes, and so I wanted to make sure that I shared that with you today. I will call on each of you to introduce yourself. Talk about where you're from and your connection to the river. And I'll do that as I see you on my screen. So this is in no particular order other than how I'm seeing you showing up on my right-hand margin. So I will start with Tim Wilcox, please.
Hi, I'm Tim Wilcox. I am the program manager for the Great River Road for MnDOT. I'm also a landscape architect. And I've been in this position going on a little over a year.
Thank you, Tim. Good to have you today. I will also say that Tim will be sharing some of the presentation information today, as will Carol, working with me, who will introduce herself in a bit. I will move on to Megan. Do you hear us, Meg?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm Megan Christensen. I'm the Executive Director of Visit Grand Rapids. I also serve on the Explore Minnesota Tourism Council for Northeast Minnesota. I serve from Grand Rapids to Brainerd.
Wonderful. Thank you, Meg. Thanks for being here. And Sally, I see you are up next if you would like to introduce yourself.
Bonjour, my name is Sally Finday. I work with the Leech Lake Band of Ojibwe, and I have lived here in the region since birth. And I actually have moved away and moved to the metro area for quite a bit of my adult life, but I have been back here since 2007, and it's been my first term, and it's been kind of a little bit odd because we had the pandemic. I do have some wonderful news to share that I did work with Tim Terrell with Mississippi Headwaters, and we did a little bit of an interview with a fellow who is going through the Highway 2 across the nation, and he's going to have a video, and I don't recall what the name of it is. And also I have worked with Victoria Bradford. She was with Relay of Voices, and Victoria is such a nice lady. She lives in St. Paul with her husband, and her husband were biking the river from the headwaters down to the Gulf. And I also serve on the board of directors for the Lady Slipper Scenic Byway, and I've been with that group since 2007, and I'm pretty proud of the work that we've done so far along Scenic Byway, which is from Highway 2 to Black Duck. It's about a 25 mile roadway. I also serve as a director on the board with the Nupaming Local Indian Council. That's an arm of the Leech Lake Band of Ojibwe's government. And I interact with our representative, Leroy Fairbanks, who is an elected official with the Leech Lake Band of Ojibwe quite often. So with that, thank you.
Thank you, Sally. Thank you so much for sharing. And David Kelleher, please. I see you next on my screen.
Hi, I'm David Kelleher with the Minnesota Historical Society, or I guess as you would say in this region of the state, Kellier, because there's a town up by Red Lake and they pronounce it Kellier. So it always cracks me up when people from that part of the state call me David Kellier. Anyway, I'm with the Minnesota Historical Society. I'm our representative to the commission, so I'm a member of the commission, and we operate a whole bunch of different programs, ranging from publishing books to operating historic sites to operating grant programs. So we can be a resource for folks working on the Great River Road and Scenic Byway activities in general through any of those activities. And one of our historic sites right in the neighborhood is the Forest History Center in Grand Rapids. And that's, we'll talk about later, the one of the interpretive centers for the Great River Road. So happy to be here and learn a little bit more about what everyone is working on. Thanks.
Wonderful. Thank you, David. Carol.
All right, so I am Carol Zoff. I work with the Minnesota Department of Transportation, previously held the position that Tim is now taking on. And I welcome everybody, and really, as David said, look forward to learning more about what's happening locally and sharing some of the Great River Road with you so we can partner more effectively. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. John.
Hi, everybody. I'm John Ampeson. I retired in January as superintendent of the Mississippi National River and Recreation Area, a unit of the National Park System through the Twin Cities, where I am the Elk River to, but not including, Hastings Commissioner. I'm also vice chair of the State Commission and co-chair of the Culture and Heritage Committee for the 10 State Commission. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, John. And I should have clarified, I also see John Mason. We have two Johns on the call today.
Am I up next then?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Yeah, hi, I'm John Mason. I'm the Minnesota Department of Transportation in the District 2 office in Bemidji. We cover the northwest part of the state. Related to the byway, part of our area includes all of the green section from Itasca State Park to Bemidji, and then most of the maroon area, over towards the Deer River area. So yeah, I guess I'm looking to hear some more information about the byway and sharing information that I know to help out the group. So thanks.
Wonderful. Thank you for being here, John. And Steve Ross, I believe, is next. Are you with us, Steve? Otherwise, we'll come back to you. I know that Steve was here earlier. We chatted with him. We will circle back to him in a bit. I'd also like to call out Casey Gerkovich from the Legislative Coordinating Commission, who you don't see on your screen right now, but she is handling meeting arrangements for us today, and we really appreciate all of her help and support with that.
All right,
So,
can you hear me?
oh, there's Steve.
Yeah,
yes.
I've been having a hard time.
We'll come back to you.
No, I finally got, can you hear me?
Yes. I know that Steve was here earlier. We chatted with him. We're on a bit of a delay. Go back to him in a bit. I'd also like to call out Casey Gerkovich from the Legislative Coordinating Commission, who you don't see on your screen right now, but she is handling our help and support with
All
that.
right, can you hear me?
Oh, there's Steve.
Yeah,
yes.
I've been having a hard time.
We'll come back to you.
No, I finally got, can you hear me?
Yes. I know that Steve was here earlier. We chatted with him. We're on a bit of a delay. Go back to him in a bit. I'd also like to call out Casey Gerkovich from. I think we're just going to go ahead and thank you for being here, Steve.
All right, can you hear me? No, I finally got, can you hear me? Yes.
Okay, I went ahead and remuted Steve, unfortunately. Steve, we know you're out there. We really appreciate it. We'll see if our audio works out a little bit better in a while. I'm not sure. We've got some kind of delay going on, if the others of you are hearing that. So I'm just going to go ahead and move on for now. Thank you for being here, Steve. He is with the Lady Slipper Scenic Byway, and we're very pleased to have you here today. So sorry about whatever kind of technical glitch we have going on, but I hope you'll be able to stay with us as we go ahead and work through our agenda. I will start with some background information for you today and then turn it over to Carol and Tim at a point. But just to kind of talk about what brings us all here today, this is the mission that you see before you of the Minnesota-Mississippi River Parkway Commission. It is to preserve, promote, and enhance the scenic, historic, and recreational resources of the Mississippi River, to foster economic growth in the corridor, and to develop the National Scenic and Historic Byway known as the Great River Road. It is an all-American road, which we're excited to tell you about. That's a new designation in 2021, and you see that noted in the logo on the right-hand side of your screen. For these regional meetings, we invite partners and stakeholders that also work toward this mission from the region. So it includes community tourism offices, convention visitors bureaus, chambers, cities, counties, state parks, interpretive centers, partner byways, national forests, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. There are other groups as well, but that maybe gives you a feel for who is on our partnership list. The Great River Road does span 10 states. It is 10 states, one river, and there is a national Mississippi River Parkway Commission. The concept kind of began in 1938 to develop a parkway of the Mississippi River. And you see a map on the right-hand side of your screen going through all 10 Mississippi River states. It is a collection of roads. It's not one road that you follow the entire way, but a collection of roads that leads visitors to authentic Mississippi River experiences. And it honors the river's sense of place and tells the stories of river people and landscapes. It really brings you to the best of what the river has to offer. So there is a 10-state Mississippi River Parkway Commission. That 10-state commission is made up of the individual state commissions that work together in a coordinated yet individual manner, I believe is the wording. And the work is guided by a 10-state corridor management plan that lays out priorities. There are things that the group works on together, such as Drive the Great River Road Month every September. And so once a year, that is a main promotion that the National Great River Road takes on, providing extra encouragement for visitors to travel the byway and showcase the things that it has to offer. There are also themed promotions that happen periodically and hopefully benefit all the partners along the route in all 10 states. One example recently would be Flavors of the Great River Road, where local communities, restaurants, entities were able to share their own local favorites, whether it be a specific food or recipe or local restaurant or spot that maybe everybody doesn't know about, but really tells the story of a place or is special to a place. And you'll find those kinds of promotions and information at the National Great River Road website, and it's not listed, well, it is listed on the map cover that you see, but it is experiencemississippi.river.com if you'd like to see more about any of those kinds of things. There is also a 10-state printed map that is distributed, and you see a cover of that on the right-hand side of your screen. It shows the route through all 10 states on two sides of a fold-out map. It isn't a map that you can use really as a drivable route guide. It doesn't give you every twist and turn of the route, but it gives a pretty good feel for where that route takes you. And it also features the interpretive centers that we'll talk about in a minute. The 10-state group gathers typically twice per year, once in the spring, once in the fall, for larger meetings of its members and partners. And those had been in the past at various sites along the river. The states would move that meeting around and showcase their own local areas. For the past, I don't know exactly what date, early 2020, since everything kind of changed for us and everyone else related to travel and such, we've done these meetings via Zoom. And that has provided new opportunities for the commission to draw in folks that might not always have been able to travel. So there is always good and bad that comes with the changes, but there are typically 2 10-state meetings each year. There are also 4 technical committees that carry out projects. They are marketing and culture and heritage, also transportation, and one called environment, recreation, and agriculture. And we happen to have 2 culture and heritage members with us today, John Amfinson and David Kelleher. And so we might hear a little bit more about that from them later, but they do carry out the work of the 10-state commission. Moving on then, we mentioned that there is a 10-state network of interpretive centers. This is kind of one of the flagship activities of the 10-state commission to promote this network of Great River Road interpretive centers. There are now over 90, I believe it's 91, though John Amfinson can correct me on that one. Oh, he's nodding, good. But 91, we just added a brand new one in Minnesota, also one in Louisiana. So we might be hitting 92, I'm not sure, I'll have to recount. But we are over 90. These centers are specially chosen and designated by the National Mississippi River Parkway Commission. They tell the stories of the river. They connect to Great River Road interpretive themes that have been defined by the 10-state Mississippi River Parkway Commission. To become one of these sites, you submit a nomination to the National Parkway Commission, and the Culture and Heritage Committee reviews those and then refers them on to the board. All of these locations, or most of them, have a sign like the one you see on your left. This one says Treasures of the Great River Road, but it identifies all these interpretive centers as you come upon them along the route. In Minnesota, we're very fortunate to have 13 interpretive centers right now. You see them on the map, loosely indicated by where the stars are located. And those centers are the places that we really promote as the must-see stops along the route. And they are Itasca State Park in your region here that we're talking about, the Jacob Brower Visitor Center, the Forest History Center that we heard David mention a bit earlier. Our newest center is the Itasca County Historical Society in Grand Rapids. There is also the Charles Lindbergh House and Museum, the Oliver Kelly Farm in Elk River, Mill City Museum, Historic Fort Snelling, the Minnesota History Center, the Science Museum of Minnesota in St. Paul, the National Park Services Visitor Center in the Twin Cities, also in St. Paul, the National Eagle Center moving down the river in Wabasha, and then in Winona, our final 2 centers are the Minnesota Marine Art Museum and the Winona County History Center. There is an application or nomination process, as I mentioned, to become one of these locations. It's an annual process with a deadline in the fall, usually around September 1st. So if you'd be interested in what that's all about, certainly reach out to us and we're happy to help you with that. And I have talked at you for a while now, so I'm happy to turn it over to Carol, who is going to talk with us a bit about Minnesota's Great River Road.
Yeah, well, thanks, Chris. I always find what you say fascinating. No, it's fine. I have to keep coming to the meetings. It is good to understand, both the, long-term projects and then the short-term, implementation that's going on. So the 10-state group is really a great one to leverage, as are the local. And congratulations to Itasca County History Center. And Meg, I didn't realize that you had done the video. That is fabulous on the Facebook post. That made it even more special. So to give you a bit of background on Minnesota's Great River Road, as Chris so rightly said, it is a 10-state context, which is fascinating. But from the source of the Mississippi River in Lake Itasca to the soaring bluffs along Minnesota's south shore, Minnesota's Great River Road spans 565 miles. It offers 6 destination areas that highlight 20 counties, 43 communities, and 3 tribal nations. Along the way, the Great River Road celebrates and provides access to some of our state's iconic archaeological, cultural, historical, natural, recreational, and scenic attractions. And one of those recreational attractions is the Mississippi River Trail. And it was a really important effort as part of implementing the previous corridor management plan. And so the Mississippi River Trail is Minnesota's first state scenic bikeway under the Commissioner of Transportation, and it offers a marked bicycle route from the headwaters to Iowa and then on to the Gulf of Mexico through the other 9 states. It's primarily located on the Great River Road shoulders. And the Mississippi River Trail, though, does depart from the byway when riverside trails or lower speed roads are available. Now, this all-American road, the Great River Road, is managed under state statute by the Minnesota Department of Transportation. And so that is what Tim and myself and Marnie Karnowski, our office director, help provide as a voting member of the commission. And other members of the commission are 2 House members, 2 Senate members, the Department of Natural Resources, the Department of Agriculture, Explore Minnesota Tourism, and the Minnesota Historical Society, as David is representing here today, as well as 5 regional citizen members. And we're so lucky to have several on the line today. Thank you. Excuse me. And then 1 at-large member who was our current at-large member, Ann Lewis, was a Grand Rapids resident for a long time. And then we are also very fortunate to have the Mississippi National River and Recreation Area Unit as an ex officio member of the commission. Next. So the All-American Road designation was determined last February of 2021. And 8 of 10 states were able to go through the federal process to prepare a designation. And all 8 that applied were receiving that All-American Road designation. It's the highest honor that the Federal Highway Administration has to recognize these collections of roads that tell our nation's story and provide access to the places that we hope that people will, visit and be enriched by. So nominations highlighted 2 features of national or international significance. And together these demonstrate that the Great River Road is a destination unto itself. And, Meg, as a person who markets and, has personal interaction with people, they do come specifically to follow the Great River Road. And we're so proud to be a part of that. So what we highlighted was our historic features. In fact, all 8 states highlighted historic features. And then in Minnesota, actually, John was the inspiration that we highlight our scenic features and define those as the landscape as it changes through the state. Next. So for more information on what it means to be an All-American Road and why the Minnesota Mississippi Road earned this honor, please visit the All-American Road webpage on our website, www.mnmississippiriver.com. And there's also a page where travelers and byway partners and some of our commissioners have shared their own All-American favorite places. And so we invite you to also submit your favorite places because there are so many. Maybe not your favorite fishing hole, because I know those are sacred, but anyway, next. And so, it's important to mention that the All-American Road designation, at the time of our last corridor management plan, we really didn't know that they were going to the Federal Highway Administration was going to open up that opportunity. But what does drive the Parkway Commission and its activities and our interactions with our partners is from a plan was developed over 18 months. Completed in early 2016. And Tim will now take on and explain some of the implementation that we've done from this plan. If you're interested in the details of the plan or looking at some of the supporting data that we gained, please do visit our website again, www.mnmississippiriver.com. And under About Us, you can find all kinds of information about that'll give you insight into what we do and why we do it. Thank you.
Thanks, Carol. I'll go ahead and invite Tim on in. Hi, Tim.
All right. Hi. All right. So a corridor management plan inventory of these signs revealed that prior to 2018, 22% of our wayfinding signs were missing and 32% needed repair or were incomplete. The route is generally only signed where you need to turn, so any missing sign is an impediment to a successful byway experience. Next. The Minnesota Great River Road website, mnmississippiriver.com, includes information on things to see and to do along the full 565-mile route. As you can see on the website, on here, we had a new complete redesign that was launched in February of 2020. There's a visual priority and mobile device to be mobile device friendly. And then we also focus on the Plan Your Trip mapping application and digital travel guides. Next. Excuse me. The Plan Your Trip interactive mapping can be
see on here. We had a new complete redesign that was launched in February of 2020. There's a visual priority and mobile.
I'm hearing myself.
To be mobile device friendly. And then we also focus on the Plan Your Trip.
I am too, Tim. Casey, I'm not sure if you're out there with us. Are you hearing that too? Is there anything?
I am hearing it, and I have been trying to figure out what we can do to eliminate that echo, and I'm just not really sure. So,
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry.
No, that's okay. And then I didn't know if it was just on my end too. So thanks everybody for jumping in on that.
All right.
Tim, I think we're clear. Okay.
We'll just start back over here with the slide. So, okay. So the Plan Your Trip interactive mapping can be accessed again on mnmississippiriver.com. So this application is to help travelers plan a trip and to explore Minnesota's Great River Road while driving along. The Plan Your Trip interactive map provides potential and current byway explorers with the Great River Road and Mississippi Trail alignments and over 700 traveler resources that express the natural, scenic, historic, recreational, and natural qualities of Minnesota's Mississippi River. Again, we have that online right now, and there are some how-to videos associated with the Plan Your Trip application that are embedded. So go ahead and check those out when you have time. Excuse me. In addition to Minnesota grown members, Amtrak stations, major airports, excursion ports, and Minnesota's 20 other scenic byways are also provided there on that, and will provide travel options and plenty of reasons to visit again and again. Next. Okay. So digital travel guides. So there are 6 regional travel guides that are available online. They telling the stories and highlighting special places of the 6 unique Minnesota Great River Road regions. The travel guide to state parks along the Great River Road was developed for driving the Great River Road month last year. And other specialized guides hopefully will be developed over time. Next.
I'm on a little delay here now too, Tim. I am trying to advance those for you. There you go.
All right, so on the print map here. So the print map, these were designed by MnDOT, provides content feedback from the MRPC, Interpretive Centers and Marketing Partners. There are 80,000 copies were printed in 2020 for a 2-year distribution. I believe, Chris, we have a few left. So if you want those, you can get those ordered. And if you need them, just contact the MRPC office to request copies. All right. The Ambassador Program. We are currently reaching out to the Great River Road Interpretive Centers now, and we'll be inviting community tourism offices to ambassador sessions in 2022. Details about the program are under the About Us tab on mnmississippiriver.com. Ambassador Program, the goals of this program are to develop and strengthen the Minnesota Mississippi River Parkway Commission, partnerships with byway attractions to leverage improved value from cooperative Minnesota and 10 state efforts. 2 is to provide ambassadors with resources, materials, and training to maximize their time and talents. 3, confirm and update Minnesota Great River Road attraction information included in the Plan Your Trip and other marketing. And 4, encourage Mississippi River exploration and stewardship. Our initial ambassadors are going to be the Great River Road Interpretive Centers and Community Tourism Offices. Any future ambassadors will be the Plan Your Trip travel resource site managers and staff, and other Great River Road attractions such as Minnesota Grown members and businesses.
Thanks, Tim. Appreciate that.
Yep.
And this is Chris again. We're moving back into the business portion of our agenda after we had that background information shared. Thank you, Carol and Tim, for that. And I believe that I noticed our chair, Senator Senjum, joined the meeting. And so this is wonderful timing, Senator. And I'm wondering if you would like to say a few words to introduce yourself before we go into this kind of business portion of the meeting.
Sure. For those of you that don't know me, I'm State Senator Dave Senjum. I'm from Rochester. Well, Rochester not being on the Mississippi River, I think half of Rochester lives on the Mississippi River during the summertime. It's that popular, certainly down our way, and it certainly I know is up in northern Minnesota. It's my great pleasure and opportunity to serve as chair of this commission. I've been fortunate enough to be part of it for all of my 20 years here in the legislature, and a couple of occasions, currently even the present time, to chair the commission. It's an absolutely wonderful organization. It's a wonderful cause. Like nothing can be greater than trying to promote the Mississippi River, one of the world's greatest treasures, and we have an opportunity to do that as participants in the commission, and certainly all of those people up and down our river. It means so much of us, for us, rather sentimentally and frankly, economically, and certainly from the standpoint of tourism and even self-comfort, if you will, for those of us that personally enjoy the river. It's a marvelous place. It's a marvelous organization we're a part of, and it's a pleasure for me to be here today, sitting in on your meeting. And thank you for all that you do up there. It's vitally important to our cause. And I will dare say that we have not only a wonderful commission, but perhaps the best commission of any of the states along the river. But just because you're best, it doesn't mean you can't get better. And we continue to work and strive in that direction. So again, thanks so much for the opportunity to be here and to just say those words. So that's all I have, Chris.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Senator. We appreciate it. And it's a perfect lead in to our slide that we have before us, which talks about the commission and its structure. And you saw this a little bit earlier in the meeting, but we'll talk a bit more about it now. The Minnesota-Mississippi River Parkway Commission is organized under state statute, started in about 1963. And it does include 2 members of the Minnesota Senate, Senator Senjum being one of those, 2 members of the House, 5 members, 1 from each of the 5 geographic segments of the Great River Road. So we will be holding an election for one of those members today. There is 1 at-large member, and then 1 each from the Departments of Transportation, Natural Resources, Agriculture, the Minnesota Historical Society, and Explore Minnesota Tourism. I serve as staff to the commission. The Legislative Coordinating Commission for the state of Minnesota provides administrative and fiscal support, and the commission is very grateful for that. There are also technical members that carry out the work of the commission from the departments that you see listed, some of the same member agencies of the commission, but then also the National Park Service, Mississippi National River and Recreation Area. So there are lots of organizations and people involved with this commission that do great things related to the river and Great River Road. The commission does hold business meetings quarterly. The 2022 meeting schedule has not yet been set, but it will be posted at the link that you see on your screen. I can also email that to you anytime if you're interested. Also, let me know anytime if there's information you would like shared with the commission. They are always interested in knowing about things that are happening up and down the river, different projects that you have going, different improvements, different things that you might like promoted. Also, at times they consider letters of support if projects are seeking, or local entities are seeking funding for projects that better the byway experience. So keep in touch. And if you'd like to speak at a commission meeting, also do let me know. Right now, those are via Zoom, and the chair considers those requests, but we're happy to consider those. So please do keep in touch. We are talking about our regional commissioner specifically today, and this shows you a bit about the responsibilities of our regional commissioners. And we do ask all commissioners to help enact the mission of the MNMRPC at the national, state, and local levels, participate in those 4 business meetings of the commission each year, participate in the national meetings as people are able to, and serve on the national MRPC committees, and then support special events and activities related to the Mississippi River and Great River Road. Regional commissioners have some additional responsibilities, and you see those here. Really, it is to act as a liaison between the region and the commission, back and forth, and carry the concerns from the local region or good news from the local region to the commission. The commission did not always have regional representatives. They were added into the statute after the previous corridor management plan was completed. And the regional commissioners are a very important part of the commission. We're grateful for their service. So once again, according to the statute that defines the commission, we have 5 of those regional commissioners. They are elected by citizen committees within those regions. We don't necessarily have citizen committees that meet on a regular basis and have standing meetings, but we do have lists of partners and stakeholders that the commission works with regularly and periodically for meetings. And we reach out to those groups seeking candidates to serve as local commissioners, regional commissioners, and then also elect those commissioners. So part of the work today is to elect a commissioner for a 2-year term. There was information emailed out to our list about our candidates that we have today. Applications were requested from the region, and we do have 1 applicant for the position. That is your current commissioner, Sally Fineday. So we're pleased to announce Sally as your candidate for today. And Sally, would you like to say a few words about your interest in the position before we go ahead and call for a vote?
Certainly, I always forget to do the mute button. So yes, I really am very pleased to serve on the commission. I think that one of the most important pieces that I represent is the aspect that I happen to live on an Indian reservation in northern Minnesota, and it's called the Leech Lake Reservation, and it's quite it brings a lot of American Indian heritage and culture to the commission. And I also am very much connected to the land, to the river here. And I'm just pleased to do whatever I can to help us with our efforts to maintain the river, the byway, now that we're a part of the American roadway, I'm really pleased that that we are, because of the fact that the Mississippi River is right here in our homelands. So with that, I'd like to just say miigwech, which is thank you, and that's in the Ojibwe language. Miigwech.
Thank you so much, Sally. We appreciate your words, and I will say also that we have requested email votes from any of our stakeholders from the region unable to attend today. I have received a couple of those, and at this time, those of you on the Zoom meeting from the region that we're speaking of, like Itasca to Grand Rapids, I would ask for your vote if you'd like to unmute yourself. We will just do this via voice vote, and I will announce Sally as the candidate for regional commissioner for a 2-year term from Lake Itasca to Grand Rapids. And all those in favor who are in the region of electing Sally to that position, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Do we have everyone? I'd say signify by saying aye, or go ahead and raise your hand in the Zoom and I will look for you. Any opposed? And all those in favor who are in the region of electing Sally to that position, please signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, so I think we have everyone. I'd say signify by saying aye, or go ahead and raise your hand in the Zoom and I will look for you. Any opposed? And all those in favor who are in the region of electing Sally to that position, please signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, thanks again for your patience with our audio issues. I think we voted several times the way that sounded. And I am pleased to say that based on that response, along with the email votes, we are able to congratulate Sally Fine as Regional Commissioner for a new two-year term. And thank you, Sally, so much. We so appreciate you serving. And we do have some time remaining to talk about what's happening in the region, gather your ideas, your input, your questions, any requests you might have for the commission, updates on what's happening in your communities. I will say if we continue to have the repeating audio issues, we might just go ahead and adjourn if that gets in our way too much, since we do have our business completed. I appreciate your patience, but Sally, as Regional Commissioner, how would you like to proceed? Would you like to say a few words to begin? Would you like me to start calling on our attendees for feedback? How would you like to proceed?
Well, I think that, first of all, Chi Miigwech, which is big thank you. I'm mostly just pleased to help with whatever we're doing as a whole, and also to bring the voice of the Native American community to the Great River Road Mississippi River Parkway Commission. And I think that I will go ahead and continue to learn my own piece in this operation, and hopefully we can all benefit as a whole from the tourism components and the protection components and just the nature of the great resource that we have and that we are committed to, the Mississippi River. Miigwech.
Thank you so much, Sally. I would just also like to remind everyone, as Tim mentioned before, if you would like some of our Minnesota Great River Road maps, we do have a good supply of those in stock right now, and we can have those packed and shipped to you in whatever quantities you would like. So if you are interested in some of those maps, just connect with me anytime. We'll place that order for you. And we're always just really grateful if we have partners that help us distribute those. So thank you to those of you that do that. Also, as we talked about a little earlier, we'd love to see some of your favorite places featured on the Minnesota Great River Road website. So if you go to that website, mnmississippiriver.com, and up to the All-American Road tab, you'll find All-American Favorites. If you scroll all the way down through the favorites that have been submitted, there's a form you can use to submit your own. So we would love to see some of those come in, and they are then screened before they are posted and go live. But we'd like to see more submissions from around the state, so please consider that. I think based on what Sally said, I will go through and with our remaining time, start by calling on those from within the region to see if we have updates, feedback, things going on, and then I will move on to our other commission partners that we have here with us. Steve, I'll try to start with you this time. Steve Ross, are you able to unmute and share from the Lady Slipper Byway? We'll give Steve a minute, and I do apologize for our technical difficulties today. I think I called them on us from the universe because I talked about how the first two of our regional meetings last week went off without a hitch. So I was a little, wondering what might happen today. And there you go. I put it in the universe for us. I did it. John Mason, is there anything that you would like to share about what's happening?
I don't know if you can hear me. I'm having real problems with my
Steve a minute, and I do apologize for our technical difficulties today. I think I called them on us from the universe because I talked about how the first two of our regional meetings last week went off without a hitch. So I was a little, wondering what might happen today. And there you go. I put it in the universe for us. I did it. John Mason, is there anything that you would like to share about what's happening?
I don't know if you can hear me. I'm having real problems with my
Steve a minute, and I do apologize for our technical difficulties today.
Yeah, I guess I can go from the Minnesota Department of Transportation, the District 2 office. We do have some projects coming up next summer in the region that may be of interest, I suppose. I was also recently contacted by a group from MnDOT working on the Mississippi River Trail plan updates, sort of related to non-motorized usage. And there are a couple of trail projects that MnDOT and the Leech Lake Band of Ojibwe are working on together. And actually the Leech Lake Band would be ultimately delivering them. One of them is a trail section in Cass Lake, sort of connecting an area west of the casino and the city of Cass Lake together, where there's a gas station and some destinations in the city. So that'll be a really good project to improve non-motorized transportation options. And then the other projects I guess I can mention here are in the area around Bena. There's a planned construction project next summer, might be the summer afterwards, but at least for now we're planning 2022 construction, and that'll be improving that area. The pavement's in rough condition, but also looking at non-motorized pedestrian improvements in that section, as well as a trail extension along the kind of the expressway of Highway 2, connecting some additional housing to that area. So yeah, I guess we continue to look and improve conditions for motorized, non-motorized users, safety, kind of the whole gamut of projects. And yeah, I guess it's good to know this group is out there if we're looking for support or feedback on any types of improvements. And I guess I would also encourage this group and anyone else related to the Byway or really anything to contact us if you have any questions about projects or want to discuss anything with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much, John. We appreciate that. Anyone else? I almost hesitate to go one by one with the repeat issues we've been having, but maybe it's almost focused on me. Let's go to David Kelleher.
Hey, one thing I wanted to bring up, I'm not sure if anyone brought this up previously in this conversation, but the national MRPC had planned on having the national meeting in Bemidji in this region, and obviously that was put on hold due to the pandemic. But I really hope that we keep the pilot light burning on that one, and that someday in the next couple of years we're able to do that. We had a small planning meeting when we thought it might still happen, to talk about some ideas for program, and that really was exciting to think about some of the things that we can showcase from Minnesota for the other 10 states. And Sally, obviously we talked about showcasing Native American stories being in that region. So I hope we can keep that going, and someday soon we can host the other Great River Road states.
Thank you. Thanks for the reminder on that, David. That would be great to see happen. John Anfinson, anything you would like to share as our Vice Chair and Culture and Heritage Co-Chair?
Well, Chris, maybe you were going to mention this, but I wanted to point out that the Parkway Commission is going to promote the Northern Reach. I don't know, Chris, when's that coming out?
John is referring to a campaign we have going as a commission with River Travel Magazine online. If you haven't looked at them before, take a look at River Travel Magazine. They are saying they will run that article, John, probably in January. We just provided content based on the All-American Road nomination, and this will be the fourth in a series of 4 articles. And our commission team chose to focus on the northern part of the river, area that we're talking about today, for winter activity, but also for season year-round activities. So that will be coming out in a few weeks. And so we're pleased to be able to feature your area. Sally, it does also mention Leech Lake Band of Ojibwe provides links to information, talks about the cultural treasures of the region as well. So thank you, John, for bringing that up.
Yeah, you probably would have thought of it, Chris, anyway. But, I want to point out, from the 10 state commission, the Culture and Heritage Committee is really trying to consider how can we help interpretive centers. And so what we're looking for is any interpretive centers, especially up there right now, if there's some way you think the commission, either at the state or federal level, national level, could help you do things better, connect with you better, let us know. And we want to start exploring those. So please do that. And we're also trying to figure out how can we up our game a bit because we're all American Road now, we're at the cream of the crop level. I think visitors are going to expect more of us. So how do we keep doing things better and better? And then lastly, Chris, I'll just confirm that Itasca County Historical Society was number 91, and the Louisiana Great River Road Interpretive Center Museum was number 92. So we had one from each end of the river in the last year.
Nice. Thank you, John. And John Anfinson and David Kelleher are both members of that National MRPC Culture and Heritage Committee. So if you know of other, not that we have special sway over that or anything, but we do have good sources of information on that process. And so if you're interested or you know of other locations that you feel should be submitted for inclusion in that network, please reach out to me anytime. We can get you the form so that you can take a look at what the requirements are. And I know John would be happy to talk with you on what might be an appropriate nomination. So thank you.
Chris, if I could just mention quickly, I meant to say that, you know, one of the things I've been looking at really carefully is, of those 92, what are the stories we tell, but what are the stories we're missing? And so if you think of a story that might be missing from the experience of the Mississippi River in Minnesota, let us know so we can start looking at it.
Megan, is there anything that you would like to share today?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
So I think the thing that I wanted to share with everyone is that we are holding here in Grand Rapids a potential paddling event meeting. We have called a meeting with Tim Terrell and some others. Aiken County and the city of Aiken have partnered with the Chamber of Commerce, and they are doing 2 paddling events a year. I would love to hold some type of paddling event here in Grand Rapids. I think it's an opportunity as a fundraising event for the Historical Society that just was awarded Interpretive site, as well as others. Here at Visit Grand Rapids, we just don't have the staff to conduct events. We definitely help market and promote events, and from time to time we get involved in committees. And this is one of those committees that we would get involved in to get it started. And then eventually they would have enough committee members to handle it themselves. But, you know, Tim calls it resourcetainment, and we are excited for whatever that potential would be. The other thing I wanted to mention is in our visitor guide for 2022, we have a double-page spread on the Great River Road. So we're excited. Those should be coming out. We should have those hopefully this week. They got shipped to the wrong location. So we're hoping they can be rerouted and shipped back here to Grand Rapids. They got sent to a Mora location. So right now Lily's in process and trying to find out where they are. But when I have them, I'll send some copies down to you, Chris.
Wonderful. That's great news, Meg. Thank you. David.
Megan, have you talked to Jeff Johnson at the Forest History Center about the paddling event possibilities?
Yeah, so they're going to be on the call with us for that meeting, both Sean and Jack. So yeah, they're really excited, and we've been marketing and promoting their paddling events because we were excited they added those this year. So yeah, we're going to see what comes up. We have a company called Paddle Hoppers here in town, and she's been trying to do an event herself, but she just doesn't have capacity. And so then we hooked her up with Lila and some others like the Corps of Engineers. And so I'm hopeful that we can get a big enough group together that we can actually hold some type of paddling event next year.
So what we're referencing back and forth with the Forest History Center is that we have had a pilot project for the last kind of year and a half to see how it would work to get out on kayaks and canoes on the Mississippi River at the Forest History Center, which is something a little bit different for us at the Forest History Center, but obviously tying the river into what we do at that historic site is really, really important. So as a pilot project, it's worked pretty well. It obviously takes some staffing and some new developing expertise that we haven't previously had, but it's a great toe in the water for us.
Yeah, I think it's great. I didn't hear what the attendance was last year or this year. Do you know what the numbers are?
I don't have
Okay.
numbers, but I know that they
Okay.
have a small number of kayaks, so it's not going to be huge numbers, but it was more a matter of seeing if it worked and figuring out scheduling and staffing and all the goofy stuff like liability and waivers and all that stuff that you just have to
Yeah.
do.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Keep us posted, and if those events are coming and you would like us to share those on our Great River Road website, Facebook page, etc., happy to do that. Anyone else? We're coming up close to 2 o'clock, but happy to take more feedback here, sharing. Also happy to let you go 3 minutes early if we are finished. I don't need to keep you long.
Well, can I just, as long as we got a minute for a question.
Yes.
Sally, thanks so much for stepping up and doing this. I hope you're not hearing this 3 times, although I would say it 3 times. That's not the repetition, but so, I mean, everything from Lake Itasca to New Orleans and below is interesting on the Mississippi River, but just thinking about your area in particular and the Native American history there, I think it's just, I mean, I'll just, you know, we're a small group, I'll just say it, we can't lose that, and I don't think we are, but I mean, that river and what that meant to your ancestors, and it was just an amazing thing, and how they used it, how they cultivated it, how they ate off it, how they transported themselves on it. It's I'm one of you. We spent a lot of time when we were a little younger with the kids up in Cass Lake around Knutson Dam and things like that. So I know a little bit about your area. I've driven around it quite a bit, and at least that particular portion of it. And there's just a lot up there that we can't lose, and I hope we don't. And I don't know exactly what it takes to retain it. Maybe to some great degree we have, but that river, in my mind, there's a lot of magic to it from the standpoint of just its history, and you know, it looks like a just flowing history through the lakes up there, but that was your ancestors' pathways, and that's what they depended upon for so much, and we can't lose that nostalgia. Even we have it, I think, in our culture. So we appreciate your jumping into this, and I think it'll be a tremendous asset for us.
Once again, Chimigwich, that means big thank you.
Thank you, Sally. Thank you, Senator Senjum. Those are wonderful lead-ins to our last slide here, which is thank you. Huge thanks to all of you for taking the time today, for your patience as we work through the meeting. And please do reach out anytime. This phone number will come to me at the commission office. You can reach me at this email address or the one that you saw the meeting invitation come from. And the commission really does want to hear from you. And I think Senator Senjum was conveying that as well. So please do keep in touch. Thank you so much for your time today. Congratulations to Sally, and everyone take care and have a great rest of your afternoon.
All right.
We will go ahead and call this to adjournment. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.